Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Manticore Media podcast. We're doing something a little special today because we're coming up on Halloween and I have some obligations I've got to tend to, so we're recording this well in advance. So we're doing a very special mailbag episode. My name is Michael Navarro, joined once again by Tim Tolley. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
Thanks
going
for
good.
coming back.
Yes, sir. No problem.
It's like getting together twice in a month. That's a record, huh?
Yeah. Probably in the last 20 years, anyway.
Yeah. So you want to just jump right into it? We got some good questions from some of our viewers and listeners out there.
Yeah.
All
bring it
right.
on.
So, question number 1. Do you stay in on Halloween night and watch your favorite films? If so, what are they? Mine are the classic Wolfman and Dracula, the original Halloween, and Trick or Treat. And that is from Daniel. Me personally, I try to get out on Halloween. I don't really like being home. I like to go out and see the costumes, and maybe if me and my wife can get a costume together, go out and take our son out, or we try to go to like a costume contest or someplace that's having a Halloween party. If I do stay home, I try to watch what's it called? It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Pretty much any holiday, if I'm home and one of those Charlie Brown movies are on, I try to watch those. As far as like your traditional horror movies, I really don't watch any around Halloween unless they happen to come on. If I had a choice, it would be, your Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers, one of those. I try to go out.
Yeah. When my kids were little, of course we would go trick or treating, and we even did like the trunk or treat things at the churches where it's more local, one area, and you're not too worried about running the streets and traffic. But now that they're older, they're usually doing their own thing. I try to get them to stay home to watch movies, and really it's going to be the same Freddy, Jason, the classics, that were classics for our time. But yeah, other than that, I mean, for me, it's pretty much stay home nowadays.
Yeah. You and your wife ever gone to like the Halloween costume contest or anything, or dressed up with the couple's
Matter of
costume?
fact, last year was the first year in a long time that we've gone out. And actually, my kids are older now. They're over 18. So a good friend of mine had a party at his house, costume party, and that was the first time I've ever actually been to a costume party.
Oh yeah.
And it was fun.
What did y'all wear?
She was she had like a lion costume, and since this is a kid friendly show, I'm not going to tell you what I was.
Yeah.
I was the doctor. How about that?
Oh, okay. So this year we're planning on going as Hall & Oates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know, you can't really tell. I'm trying to grow my mustache real bushy. I'm not going to trim it for the rest of the month.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
It'd be what was that show? Grown Ups? Was it Grown Ups 2 where the big kid and the dad went as Hall & Oates?
Maybe so. I don't remember that. I don't remember them doing that.
I don't remember the dad's name. He's a little squeaky guy that he has a son that's real tall, big son, and they go as Hall & Oates.
He was that guy that's in all the, like, he's like a minor role in all the movies with the squeaky voice.
I'm trying to think. I think he was the one in Tommy Boy.
Oh,
like the second guy with Chris Farley.
Oh, David Spade.
David Spade. Yeah,
okay.
That guy.
Huh. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I have to go take a look.
Grown Ups 2, they have the big costume party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out because you might be able to model your costume after that.
Yeah, because we don't really know what we're going to wear yet. I'm thinking, like, I feel like at some point Oates had a red bandana tied around his neck and like almost a car repairman shirt. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. We've done it before, though. We went one year as gladiators, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool. Me and my wife, we've never done a couple's costume. Like I said, last year was the first time we've dressed up and went out ourselves in a long time. So,
did y'all come to our house when we lived in our old house and we had that Halloween costume party?
No, sir.
Y'all didn't come to that? Man, you missed a good time. I was Skeletor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was back before you could like find a Skeletor costume. I had a makeshift. I had like this armor I got, and where I used to work at, I could cut vinyl, and I cut out that was like that ram's head he had on his
Mm-hmm.
chest, and put the vinyl on there, and I found a skeleton mask, and it was pretty cool. And the mask could pump blood in the skull.
Really?
Yeah, I got a picture off to show
Yeah,
you.
you have some of that.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
All right, question number 2. Oh, this is a highly debated question. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or Christmas movie? Sent in by Mike G. You want to go first? You want me to take this?
Well, I'm sure I've seen this movie. It was probably a long time ago, so I don't really remember a whole lot about it. But for me personally, if any movie that has multiple holidays in it, if Christmas is one of them, then it's going to be a Christmas movie. I mean, that's just it. It beats out every other holiday, especially Halloween. So if it had a Christmas theme to it, I'm gonna call it a Christmas movie.
All right. Well, I know the next question, so I will address that in the next question.
Okay.
For this particular movie, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a little both, but like you, I'm going to lean towards Christmas because the whole point is Jack Skellington, who he's with the king of Halloween Town. He's tired of the Halloween traditions, and he stumbles across Christmas Town and wants to bring some of their festivities to his town. And he learns a lesson in the end, so there's a moral to the story. Santa has to help him put everything back to normal. So when you have a moral of the story and Santa fixing things, yeah, I'm going to say that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
Because Santa kind of rules the roost, and I think he would, if he's in it, it's going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because when you think back to like Miracle on 34th Street and It's a Wonderful Life and all that stuff, there's always something the main character learns, and that's more of a Halloween trope. I mean, a Christmas trope than a Halloween trope.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Halloween's mostly slash and dash, or yeah. I'll call it a Christmas movie. Yeah. On to question number 3. You thought question number 2 was controversial. Is Die Hard truly a Christmas movie? It takes place during the holidays, and the Christmas part is apparent throughout the whole movie. That comes from Jimmy. I'll let you go first on this one too.
All right. This one I would definitely say is a Christmas movie. It just Christmas is present throughout the whole show. Is that a thumbs down? Is that what you're telling me? Well, and part of it to me is TV. The TV networks kind of dictate to us what is Christmas. If they show it every Christmas, then it kind of becomes a Christmas movie. So. But I would agree with them on this one. It's a great action movie, in my opinion. And Christmas theme, why not?
No. Let me tell you why. It is a movie that happens to take place around Christmas, but Christmas isn't the focal point of the movie. The point of the movie is John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, wants to reconcile with his estranged wife. So he wants to reunite with her at her company's Christmas party. But her company's Christmas party is interrupted by a terrorist attack. So the whole point of the movie, you could remove that from Christmas and it's still the same movie. Christmas is just an afterthought. It's a background to the movie. Yeah. It could have been Christmas, it could have been New Year's, it could have been Tuesday,
But I agree with that. You're right. It's an action movie, but I think the time of year, it just makes it right. If you play the same movie and you make it around Easter, it just doesn't have the same feel to it. The Santa hats, the Christmas tree. I'm sure Bruce Willis did some Christmas puns and something. I think it ties the movie together, and like I said, I watch it every Christmas, so to me, it's a Christmas movie.
Let me give this example. So, Home Alone,
movie
that happens around Christmas, a little more important in the storyline than Die Hard, but it's still just a movie. It's still your traditional home invasion movie.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen anytime. In fact, it does happen again in Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. Pretty much the same movie, just Christmas isn't involved, but you still have young Kevin having to thwart the antics of the burglars.
Yeah, I agree. It is just the setting of the movie is Christmas, but I think it ties the movie together.
It does.
There's a reason why the whole family's there, and which causes him to be left behind, and I'm sure he uses some presents from under the tree to hurt the invaders, and same thing. I feel that it's a Christmas movie. You put Christmas that much into it, and to me, it's a Christmas movie.
Christmas is more like a weapon in that movie, though. It's I don't want to call it the MacGuffin. It might be the MacGuffin. It might be the thing that pulls us the plot along because the burglars are coming in to rob them because it's Christmas. But no, like I said, you could take out Christmas or that movie, and it's just Home Alone 2. Yeah. Like Groundhog Day. I don't think you would call Groundhog Day a Groundhog Day movie, right? It's just happens to be that's when Bill Murray's character is repeating the same day on Groundhog Day, right?
It's funny you said that because I was thinking Groundhog Day was a Christmas movie too. No, you're right. I agree, but there's a difference between Christmas and Groundhog Day.
That's true. I mean, it's not as well in our hearts and souls it is, right? But if you think about it, from a film perspective, it's just the thing that's moving the plot along.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, but still ain't Christmas.
Oh,
Groundhog is not Santa.
Well, if it helps you any, at the recent Comedy Central roast of Bruce Willis, he got up and he said, "Die Hard is not a Christmas movie."
Yeah, well, Bruce Willis is he's not a very good actor. He's not. I'm no longer a fan of Bruce Willis. Just so you know.
Well, he doesn't agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, moving along because I don't even think we really addressed Die Hard more so than we address Home Alone and Groundhog Day. All right. Oh, good. A Halloween-themed question since it is Halloween. Why is it that film franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th get shows but don't have the main character in the episodes? This is coming from viewer Dennis. And we kind of talked about this on the way over here today. Isn't that one of the reasons why you didn't ever really like watching those shows?
Yes. Yeah, because to me, I didn't even know they made a show of Nightmare on Elm Street, but the Friday the 13th, I mean, it's Jason Voorhees. It's the hockey mask and the machete is what makes that. That's what's going to draw me to your TV show named the same thing. And if that guy's not there, then that's not really what I was there to see.
So you got duped into watching it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a couple of old VHS tapes of the Freddy, the Nightmare on Elm Street shows. I ain't watched them in a while, so I don't remember. But no, he was more like a narrator where he came out in the very end and was like, "Ha, I'm Freddy. Yeah. You just watched my show." But I wasn't in it.
Sucker.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of possible explanations for this. For one, they're usually an anthology series, which means every episode is a standalone episode, like your Black Mirrors or your Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone. So they're usually telling a story that's outside of the main movie lines. The second reason for this could be to avoid any continuity complications between the show and the movie series, because odds are you have a TV showrunner who is a totally separate person from the movie producer, and so you don't really want to, on the TV show, make a reference that totally contradicts something that happened in the movie. And I know this is, horror, so it's not like that doesn't happen anyway. Mm-hmm. But you got to keep your story straight, and if you want to keep your audience coming back. And the third reason is to make money. Why would I or why would you pay to go see Freddy at the movies when you could watch him at home for free on the TV once a week? That's kind of back when I was in high school, I had a film appreciation class by a pretty cool teacher. His name was Mr. Rumolino. And at the time, Kevin Sorbo was in a movie called Cole the Conqueror. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was also on a TV show called Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. And his movie Cole the Conqueror completely bombed. And not just the whole run, we're talking about on opening night. Because usually even if a movie bombs, it might still do pretty good opening weekend based on who the leads are, the director, and usually word of mouth will make them bomb the weeks after that. And Mr. Rumolino always said, why is anyone going to pay to go see Kevin Sorbo be a barbarian type of guy at the movies when they can stay home and watch him on Friday night for free?
Yeah, how did the Hercules series do for him?
For Kevin Sorbo? Pretty
I mean,
good. I mean, they had a pretty long run. I think like
you know why?
5 seasons.
Hercules was in it. It's called Hercules, and
Yeah.
he was in it. Friday the 13th. I mean, you're there to see Jason, and he's not there.
Yeah. But there was no Hercules movie. This was, Cole the Conqueror. Probably it was more of a Conan type of movie than what Hercules was. But yeah, that's a good point. It was.
I just feel, it's false advertisement. You invite me over for some birthday cake and give me a piece of cornbread, I'm not going to be very happy, and I'm not staying with you.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm trying to think of what else. MTV just had a Scream series come out, and of course it's not the same characters, but they still had the ghost face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the main character.
The main character. And anyway, in Scream, it was a different killer every time anyway.
Yeah.
Between the movies, so that didn't really matter. But yeah, they had the mask in the Scream TV show, and I guess it did okay. It was on MTV, so it was aimed at your teenage demographics. So I didn't watch it.
I didn't even know they did it.
I heard it was pretty good. I bought the first season on DVD, but I just haven't opened it up yet. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next question. Oh, here's a good one. Do you watch Supernatural? It's been on for years as a horror show. If you could choose a movie monster to be in the show, which would you choose? I choose The Predator. That's from Johnny from Utah. I see what he's doing there.
Yeah,
Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah.
Do you watch Supernatural?
No, sir, never seen it.
Okay. I watched Supernatural. I think we're like on season 14 or something. It is a show that originated on the WB network, and it still is around on the new CW network. And it's a show where you have two brothers who come from a line of monster hunters, and they're going around killing a monster of the week every episode. Later in the seasons, they get more involved with angels and demons, and they've been all over the place. I think we've covered pretty much every popular monster on that show after 14 seasons. Maybe they haven't explicitly said, werewolf, the Wolfman, or Dracula, but there have been vampires and werewolves and all of the different monsters. The only ones that I don't know if they've thought would be like the Mummy or Frankenstein's monster. So maybe I'd like to see those two. I don't want to see any type of extraterrestrial monsters in this show. It doesn't seem like it would fit in that show's reality, even though they're fighting angels and demons and stuff. But aliens would. They actually had an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that had an alien, and I didn't care for it. It seemed really out of place, and it was still kind of. They even kind of made it grounded in the reality of that show, but it just didn't sit right with me. It just opened up, a whole other area they should have just stayed out of.
Is it something, I'd like to see a show like that where they go after the classic monsters from our time, like the Freddy Krueger, the Jason, some kind of cross show like that. I think would be interesting to me, of course.
Yeah, well, they've gone after, like boogeymen.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been exactly Freddy or Jason, but they've gone after things that are kind of like that, revived spirits or tormented souls that were killed for whatever reason and come back to get their vengeance. They've gone up against puppets, like not mannequins. What do you call them?
The one,
the little wooden guy. The one that sit on your lap and you. The wooden
ventriloquist.
Yeah, one of the ventriloquists. I guess they're dummies.
Yeah, well, they scare the crap out of me. That's one of the few things that's creepy to me. If I woke up and one of them were sitting in my room, I'd be a little nervous.
They actually had a Buffy episode with the little puppet like that.
Really?
Oh, it was cool. Yeah, yeah. Because what was even cooler, and if you haven't seen this, it's like a 20-year-old show. You should have by now. He ends up being a good guy, and he's actually trying to help them fight something else. Yeah, yeah.
They're creepy to me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, Marvel. If Marvel Studios ever breaks into the horror side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what characters do you think should appear? That's from Jimmy. Oh, well, I don't really know much about the horror aspect of Marvel Comics. I didn't grow up on that. I grew up on the superheroes. Did you know anything
No,
about
no, I don't
those?
have a. I have a hard time figuring out which character goes with which brand.
Oh.
And even then, I don't know a lot of the bad characters that would be scary.
Yeah, my only obvious choice, and he's already had movies, would be Blade, because those were good movies with Wesley Snipes. He was like a half vampire. His mom was bitten by a vampire when he was in uterus, and he came out as like a half vampire.
I'd have
Yeah.
never known he was a Marvel character.
Yeah, most people don't. Yeah.
We talked about what's the skull guy's head catches on fire?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. There you go.
That would be a good horror movie. The only problem with Ghost Rider is those Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies, they were garbage, man. I don't think I got past the first 5 minutes of the second one and barely made it through the first one.
I don't know if I ever watched the second one, but I'll pretty much watch anything with Nicolas Cage in it. Based off of the way they did his character, it wasn't something to me that would translate very well to a horror character. But the character itself, I could see how you could change that into a good horror character.
Yeah, because I want to say he's actually a cursed character. I think he made a deal with the devil, and that's why his skull is on fire. They could do that. There was a guy, I didn't read very much of him when I was little. His name was Moon Knight, and he was really cool looking. And I want to say he might have had some personality disorder issues, like maybe multiple personalities. He got his power from the Egyptian moon god. And I don't know if it was outright a horror comic because it's been so long, but I think he would probably translate pretty well. Just from researching for this question, I did see that he either originated in an issue of a comic called Werewolf by Night, which I'm not familiar with either. I know they teamed up with Blade at some point in the comics, but that's not one of my areas that I know about. We did see there were some demons that we looked up from the Marvel comics, right? We saw like Mephisto, and I want to say he's a Doctor Strange bad guy.
No
So
clue. Belial, something like that.
Yeah.
He looked like a devil character.
there was a bunch of them that we saw,
Was it Satana? The
Satana.
girl?
and not
Morbius.
Morbius, the living vampire. That's the one you found. Yeah, I once again, I don't, not my area. I don't know, but it's called the living vampire. So
The pictures they
Yeah.
look like they translate well.
yeah, so yeah, I think Doctor Strange could easily have a horror film in his franchise. Even though I don't know. Did you see that one, Doctor Strange?
Mm-mm.
It was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I didn't hate it. It wasn't a Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question. Another Marvel question. Oh, this is from my friend Twan. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't ask me a question about Batman because Batman's his character. He's in our football league. His team is the Gotham Knights.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, that's him. I totally destroyed his team when I played them.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, him and his wife did come to our Halloween costume party,
Uh-huh.
and I want to say she came as Batgirl, and he was going to come as Batman, but I think his suit didn't fit him, so he just came in the suit and said he was Bruce Wayne.
He was Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. It still looked pretty good, man. He had a nice little red shirt, and it's pretty cool. But so he's asking, what direction do you see Marvel Phase 4 taking now that Marvel has reacquired the movie rights to Fantastic Four and the X-Men from Fox? All right, let me give you a quick history lesson here. And I only know this because, I follow movie news. So back in the 90s, Marvel almost went bankrupt, the comic company, the publishing company. And they sold off a lot of the movie rights to their characters. Like they sold Spider-Man over to Sony. They sold the movie rights to the Fantastic Four and X-Men to Fox. and they sold the Incredible Hulk and somebody else to Universal, I believe. Oh, and Daredevil also went to Fox, the Ben Affleck movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all of those characters except for Daredevil, their movie rights still belong with all of those studios I just listed.
Mm-hmm.
Except they recently they actually bought out the movie rights for all the Fox properties. Not Fox Sports or any of that stuff. That's all the political channels. That all stays with Fox. But they bought the studio. So it's not just X-Men and Fantastic Four that are coming along. You're getting stuff like, I believe, Alien is in there, and maybe Terminator. There's a big library of stuff that they got the rights to. So they're coming over now. So all of those X-Men movies, all of those Fantastic Four movies, they're not within this same world that Captain America and Thor and all of them are in.
Yeah.
Totally separate. The one exception is this new Spider-Man, because there's an agreement between Fox and Marvel, and that's why you've seen him in the Avengers movies and Iron Man in the Spider-Man movie. Mm-hmm. So that's the one exception. I don't know. It's going to all depend on what happens with the next Infinity War sequel. Maybe the Fantastic Four are the people that help Ant-Man get back from the quantum realm. You know about that? Did you see the second Ant-Man?
No.
He gets stuck in this small micro universe. He's stuck there. And so maybe they help him get back, and that's how they get their powers or something along those lines. As far as the X-Men, I'd like to see the Hugh Jackman Wolverine with the Avengers. That'd be cool. But after the Logan movie, I don't know if that's if we even want to reverse that, or if we even want to throw it in between. Movie. You didn't? Oh, that's a great movie. That's not even really a comic book movie. It's almost like maybe almost like a modern day Western. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's rated R, so it's like violent and everything you'd want. No spandex.
No yellow spandex.
No yellow spandex. It's a cool movie. Probably one of the best superhero movies ever. So I'm thinking bringing the mutants into this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe there's a new Disney streaming service coming around, and they announced they're going to have a Loki show and a Scarlet Witch show. And so I'm thinking maybe with the Scarlet Witch show, she'll do some kind of universe-altering, spell or something that'll activate the mutant gene or something. Maybe you know about the snap, right? You saw the
yes.
Okay, so maybe once the next Avengers movie is over and they resolve that line and everybody comes back, but her brother's still dead, maybe she'll have a mental breakdown and she'll try to get him back, and that'll, alter reality and bring out the mutant gene. And that's kind of similar to, there was a storyline called House of M. And I don't know much about it. That was well after my time. But I know she did something in that storyline that kind of altered the mutant gene. What I'd personally like from being a kid reading comics, there was a storyline called Secret Wars, where this alien from another planet got all the good guys and bad guys and took them off of Earth and put them on the planet and made them fight. That'd be pretty cool. After we do more individual movies, then bring them all together, or depending how this new X-Men Dark Phoenix movie does, maybe eventually after individual movies we'll get like a X-Men versus Avengers movie.
Yeah, that'd be nice,
because they've done that a few times in the comics.
Do you personally like when they bring so many characters together for one movie?
Well, if it's good, like I liked that. Which one was it? The Captain America Civil War that everybody talks about being so good. It was just to me. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like the greatest thing since sliced bread like everybody was making it out to be.
It's one of the few that I actually watched and I liked it. I like all the superhero movies, but I don't watch very many of them. But it just seems to me, when you keep bringing in characters and keep bringing in characters, it just kind of muddies the water, and there's too much, too many. I kind of like it. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy they brought into the Avengers. I mean, I liked it in the movie. I liked it, but I would have preferred they not do that.
Yeah, they handled it well in Infinity War.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I didn't feel like somebody didn't get enough time to shine. I think everybody got just enough in.
Hmm. And it was funny.
Yeah.
It was a good, humor to it. But I think if you just keep going, it's just going to be too much for me.
Well, I'm sure they're going to kill some people off anyway, or not bring back some that they killed. So that should handle that. Now for a superhero question we thought we knew very little about, we sure spent a lot of time on it, didn't we?
Well, you did.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next question. I'll let you take this one first. What TV show or movie do you feel should get a reboot? I've always liked Flight of the Navigator, and that is from Wendell.
A movie that I liked as a kid, and I haven't really seen it in a long time, but The Last Starfighter. Where the kid plays the video game outside his house there. I don't remember if it was a trailer park or apartment or what it was, but he plays the video game and he gets the high score and breaks the record, and then that night he's replaced with a robot that looks just like him, and he's taken into outer space to save the world, or I don't remember the exact details of it, but I remember liking it, really enjoying it. And I think with this, the advancement in special effects nowadays, that they could really do something with that. It'd be really cool.
Is that the one where like the aliens notice he did so well and they recruit him to help fight or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's based off the video game. He's playing the arcade game.
Yeah.
And he just beats the high score, and it's a starfighter game. He's shooting, I'm trying to think of something to compare it
like
to.
The old asteroids where you just go back side to side.
It's kind of like that, but you got a little ship in the middle, and you're shooting things coming around or something, and he just breaks the record, and the score's going up, and everybody's cheering for him, and he's really a nobody. He's a kid, I think, in the movie's 18, somewhere around there, and once he breaks the record, aliens come and get him and put him to work.
Is that kind of similar to Cloak and Dagger, where did they do something like that, where he was good at video games and the government recruited him?
No, I'm not really sure. I loved Cloak and Dagger as a kid, but I haven't watched it in a long time, and I just remember that this character that in the video game that the little kid liked to play comes to life. And the video game cartridge is kind of what they're trying to keep out of the bad guy's hands or something. And it's like a spy, the guy's a spy. The main, or not the main character, the main character in Cloak and Dagger is the little kid, but the guy that plays the spy, if I'm not mistaken, is the same guy from that plays the boss in 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah. Corbin Burnson?
I don't know his name.
Mustache guy.
Yeah, the mustache
Corbin Burnson.
guy. That's another one. I'd like to see him redo that one. I liked it as a kid.
Yeah, I'm not really much into reboots, really. I like, just either do some adaptations of some of the books that I've read that haven't been, adapted to film, or, come out with new stuff. I'm trying to think of, from a movie perspective, there's I don't want a new Back to the Future. I think it's perfect how it is.
Yeah, I
we
think
don't
that
need
one
that.
is perfect.
We don't need. I've heard people talk about they're gonna redo Lord of the Rings. Don't do that.
Nah, it doesn't seem like that one's been out long enough to redo it.
Or they're gonna do a TV show.
Okay.
So don't. And I think it's a different storyline, but still, there's no need for that. If I have to go back to my childhood, I'd say I want to see a good movie of either, or actually of both, of He-Man and Thundercats.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can think of, because everything else from when we were kids has been rebooted. Transformers, G.I. Joe, whatever. But we've never had a Thundercats movie, and the He-Man movie is so long ago that they could certainly improve on it.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that great to begin with. Those would be good ones. The characters and what they could do with the characters in the Thundercats would be interesting to see.
Yeah,
there were a lot of awesome characters.
As long as it's not like that Warcraft movie, which I never saw, but I saw the special effects and they look bad. I don't want CGI. I'll take either motion capture like the Planet of the Apes for Thundercats, or straight up makeup. But I know we both read the Sword of Truth series.
Hmm.
I'd like, even though they had a show, The Legend of the Seeker, it was pretty cheesy and it wasn't really.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really faithful to the books. And that would be a good movie. If you think Game of Thrones has some crazy stuff happening, Sword of Truth, whew, man, there's some rough scenes in those books.
Yep.
Rough, and it'd still be good.
Yeah, I read both of those series, the Game of Thrones and the Sword of Truth. Different uh, different angles on both of those. I preferred the Game of Thrones, but the Sword of Truth was good. I never watched the show. I think I tried to watch an episode or two, but like you said, it was pretty cheesy. I think HBO did a good job with the Game of Thrones, so I'd like a more serious take on it.
Yeah, because it was the same people that did Hercules and Xena that did
Yeah,
Legend of the
yeah.
Seeker. That's why it wasn't as cheesy as those, but it was still a little cheesy. I mean,
It was an amazing book series, a lot of
Yeah.
awesome characters.
more magic than Game of Thrones, but not like too much, not too distracting.
Yeah, and based off of the books, the book content, I would definitely say it would need to be a cable network. It was to
R-rated.
make it more adult.
Well, real quick though, this is more for people our age with kids that are younger. That there is a She-Ra cartoon reboot coming out on Netflix on November 16th.
Really?
Yeah. So hopefully I'll see if my kid will watch it. I know it's not for me because it looks real anime looking.
Mhm.
I don't really watch cartoons anyway, but
Yeah.
I sure don't watch anime. But I'll see if he likes it, give it a try. If I like it, I'll watch it with him. There's a lot of people complaining about it, but I'm like, man, we're almost 40 years old. Why are you worried about the cartoon?
Yeah. You'll have
Like,
to
come
let me
on,
know
bro.
how it is because my kids are too old for
Yeah.
it now, so I probably won't see it.
There's a trailer that looks pretty cool for it, but we'll see. Either way, I don't care either way. I mean, if it's good, awesome. Maybe that'll get us our He-Man movie.
Yeah.
But if not, well, didn't lose anything, did we?
Nope, not us.
All right. I think that was our last TV and movie question. Let's see. We got some sports questions coming up next. All right. Is this the comeback of Tiger Woods? Twan got in another question. I think he gave quite a few because if he's going to offer me a question, I'm going to answer them all. Oh, wow. I hope so. I'm not a big golf guy. I like to play occasionally. Me and this guy used to go to this little 9-hole course close to my house that closed down, and we always had fun. There's very few people I will play golf with because I don't want anybody who's going to go out there and be thinking they're Tiger Woods. I just want to go out there and BS and whatever. If you need me to be quiet when you're trying to make your move, you ain't playing a sport, okay? Because sports are all about trying to distract people and yelling in their face or yelling to pump them up. None of this gentleman sports, no, that ain't no sport. That's rich people trying to.
He didn't say the reason we play that 9-hole course is because neither of us had enough golf balls to play 18 holes.
That's true.
The water got all mine.
It's okay because we got a lot from the driving range.
That's
so
right.
We made up for it. But yeah, I hope he's back. He just won another major. I know since all of his off the field stuff went on, he's been injured and he hadn't been playing very well and he was gone for a long time. Like I said, I don't follow golf. I don't really care, but he's good for the sport because he puts attention on it because nobody has filled his shoes. Can you name one golfer that has been around since he left?
Not that this is dominant. I mean, very rarely do you get an athlete in the sport that's that dominant.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps in swimming, Jordan, LeBron. But I mean, the guy was just crazy good for a good long time. I'm not one to follow golf either, but I would definitely say the sport needs him to be back. It's good to have that dominant figure that people want to watch. They know his name. I might be able to list 3 or 4 other golfers, but none that are probably relevant now.
Yeah, like Rory McIlroy. I know that name. That's about it.
Yeah, there ain't too many I know.
Yeah. The ones I know are like Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, who are all
Yeah.
either retired or dead, or Chichi Rodriguez. Everybody remembers Chichi Rodriguez.
Never heard of it.
You lied. All right. Got another sports question coming up. It's from our buddy Chris. Chris is also in the Fantasy Football League. I don't remember his team name. I think he's doing okay. He might be with me tied for second place, depending on what happens after this weekend. His question is, how much should the Astros offer Dallas Keuchel in the offseason? Should they let him go in free agency? You got a take on this one?
For me, I'm not one that's big on paying players just outrageous amounts of money. But I do think that baseball, especially for pitchers, is one of those sports where, one guy can really make a difference, especially at that position. I know Keuchel, I think he had one or two really, really good years. I'm not sure. I haven't really been following, but I mean, if he's good enough to get you to the playoffs and win games for you, then you should pay him because somebody else will.
I like Dallas Keuchel. I don't know the man. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but as a player, I like him. He won the Cy Young in 2015. Without Dallas Keuchel, there would be no Justin Verlander on the team, and there would be no 2017 World Series win. But outside of the Cy Young year and then maybe a year between now and then, he hasn't been that same Dallas Keuchel. And in this season, he is probably the third and at times maybe the fourth best pitcher on the staff, which isn't to say anything because when you have Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole as your 1 and 2, that's pretty freaking good. So just being up there with them, that's pretty good. But he's had some rough patches. And if you can keep him for like, let's say $70 million over 5 to 6 years, yeah. But he's probably looking at 100 to 130 million over that same amount of time. And Scott Boras is his agent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he ends up with the Yankees, that's for sure. And I don't want to see him leave, but I don't think they should break the bank for him, even though there's no salary cap in baseball. Because you still have Verlander under control for at least another year or two. Same with Garrett Cole. McCullers is, I think, still in his rookie contract. Charlie Morton is also up this year with Keuchel, and he's been injured a lot too, but he has done really well. So I think I'd rather keep Morton over Keuchel because he'll be a lot cheaper, and he probably has a little bit longer left in the tank. You still have Colin McHugh in the bullpen, who was the number 2 starter until Verlander and Cole and all them came along. So I don't want him to leave, but if he won't stay for less than $100 million over 5 to 6 years, yeah, I'd say they should let him go.
I hate the fact that teams pay players for what they've done in the past, because that player was getting paid for that point in time. When you pay players, it needs to be for what they're going to do in the future, especially in baseball. I mean, your pitching rotation it can win you a World Series.
Yeah, but a lot of times that's because they were on rookie contracts, and rookie contracts aren't very much unless you're like a high round draft pick. So they deserve something. Like Altuve was making maybe $5 million a year. He far exceeded that. I mean, 3 batting titles, the AL MVP for the season. What else? Come on,
Well, you're also talking about someone that didn't really slow down either.
That's true.
You're paying for the performance that he gave you. If you were a superstar for 2 years and then you had a terrible year and you look like you're going to continue that route, why would I pay you?
Oh, for Keuchel, I agree, but I just meant in general with players getting paid. for what they've done in the past. I'm not talking about like an Albert Pujols on the Angels getting paid all that money for what he did in St. Louis. No, I'm talking about like the young guys coming up who should get paid.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they deserve, your star players deserve star money.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue to be a star. But with, Keuchel, if he's mediocre, but he still wants star money, let somebody else pay him star money.
Yeah, and is he truly mediocre, or is it just he's sitting there next to Verlander and Garrett Cole that were like, they're almost at perfection, striking out 10 to 14 batters a game? That's a ridiculously high standard to hold him to.
Oh yeah, and if the third or fourth best pitcher on your staff is a number one or number two for most other teams, then he needs to be paid like number one or number two if you want to keep him.
Yeah,
and like I said, the staff. I mean, you look at the Braves that had that amazing staff back in the day. It was just dominant. It was dirty. And if you have that opportunity to have that, you take it.
Yeah. Even though, looking back, they went to like, 4 or 5 World Series and only won one of them, you still think it was okay to spend that money?
Well, yeah, because you got to look at what we got on the other side of the ball. On the offensive side, you got Altuve and Correa and Springer and all those guys, and Bregman, and I mean, you hold on to that as long as you can, because you don't never know when you're going to get another shot at it.
Yeah, but what if signing him means you lose one of those offensive guys? Well, it's not going to be Altuve because he just signed an extension this season, but the other three.
It depends on who it is, It's
Correa or Bregman or Springer.
Some of those guys. Like I said, I don't really follow it too much, but some of those guys are untouchable.
Oh yeah.
Like what I understand about Bregman is that he should be untouchable.
Oh, he should be, yeah.
Yeah. But now Springer, on the other hand, maybe he's not. Maybe that's the guy you give up.
Oh, the thing about Springer, he's kind of a older young guy because they kept him down in the minors for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like they stifled any chance of him really making a lot of money. And maybe even having a Hall of Fame worthy career if he kept it up, just because they kept him down so long.
Yeah.
I think somebody who would be a casualty would be somebody like a Marwin Gonzalez, who has been great, exceeded everyone's expectations, but he might be one of those guys that you lose because another team, like a Yankees or a Boston, who might need that utility guy who can play any position, might be willing to pay him more than the Astros can.
Yeah, and I think that group, right? I mean, you've got your star players, your star pitchers, and star hitters. Everybody else needs to be interchangeable. You even if they're really good, but they're not that superstar level, that's the one you let go and you replace them. That's what your farm team's for, or go out and get a free agent that you think can do what they do. You have to be able to do that to continue to grow, but to keep your superstars.
Yeah. Good thing it's baseball, though, so there's no salary cap.
Yeah.
As long as attendance and
that's right.
Memorabilia stays up, yeah. All right, let's move on because I know we have a question about football. Here we go. I know you're excited for this one. Talked about it on the way over here. Who do the Texans get rid of first? Clowney, Watt, or B.O.B., and that's Bill O'Brien, their head coach. Oh... Hopefully JJ. Only because if JJ stays on the Texans, his career is just being wasted, just like Andre Johnson's career was. It's a inept organization. They're not going to get their act together anytime soon. So let the man go on and chase a ring or something, or trade him for prospects.
I don't agree with that simply for, because nowadays trading, you very rarely get anything worth something back.
Yeah, you get like a third or fourth round.
Yeah. Now, that deal with, who's the Khalil Mack that just went to Chicago?
Yeah.
That was a good deal. They got some number ones back. They're trying to rebuild. But generally, when you see a trade with somebody that you think is a good, big name, a good player, it is just a third or fourth round pick, even fifth rounds. And so I don't think trading would really be a good option. Me personally, I think the coaching staff needs to go. I think that if they can't put together an offensive line over this amount of time, then that's the problem. And play calling, I've never been a fan of their play calling.
No.
They have a lot of talent that, like you said, is being wasted. And I think whether it's JJ, Clowney, Merciless, Watson, or any of the the receivers, it's all wasted talent if you don't have a coaching staff that can put it together.
And really, to be more accurate with this question, I'm saying hopefully JJ leaves first. I do think it's Clowney that leaves first. I think he leaves in free agency because somebody's going to overpay for him. And I mean, how often is he hurt? How often does he miss a game because he broke a fingernail? Or that's the reputation he has, that any little thing goes wrong, he's just going to sit out. So I think he'll leave. He'll get overpaid, and probably almost like Mario Williams. Even though I think he did actually do pretty good, I think he'll be like that. Where he'll go off, somebody will overpay him, and he never lives up to what you thought he would be, even if he does have a decent career. But yeah, I think Bob should go first. I think Bob should go. I hope JJ goes first, but I realistically think Clowney will go first.
If I had to pick a player, it would be Clowney. Just because, like you said, you can't trust him to be healthy. His production is, he's got all the skills and the talent, but it just never seems to come together for me. And I think he's more easily replaceable.
And do you think everybody is too in love with JJ?
No, you look at his last two games. He put up, let's see, against who was the team we played? The Titans.
Yeah, but it's the Titans and the Colts. So
and the Colts, but it's still, he's the one that put up the production. 5 sacks, at least 2 forced fumbles, if not a third. It's a very disruptive player, and you compare him to the other players, and he is as good or not, if not better, and all the things that he brings as far as to the city. Man of the year, jersey sales, a team has to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and I don't think his trade value is as high as everyone thinks it is.
No.
Just because of his injuries, and even as good as he is, he's still not the same guy he was before.
Yeah, no, you're right. He would have to have another defensive player of the year type season to get some value. Beyond that, he's probably, like we said, 3rd, 4th, 5th round player or pick.
He's probably not even a Hall of Famer at this point now, right? Like he didn't,
if he doesn't
stay on that trajectory.
Yeah, if he doesn't kick it back up a notch, then probably not. Not saying he won't make it in because of the character he's built, but stats wise, if he doesn't step it up, no, I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
I don't even think Andre gets in. At least not for a while. Once again, wasted because, never had a double-digit touchdown season, mostly because of the play calling, never playing him in the red zone. Goes back to the owner and, GM. It's just a shame, man. It's a horrible organization.
Yeah, it is, but that's in every sport. How long were the Astros bad after they were good? Before they got good again. Cleveland, look at Cleveland's situation. The Patriots, how long were the Patriots terrible before Belichick and Brady?
Yeah, but in most of those cases, particularly with the Astros, so Drayton McClain tried to hold on too long into their window. And then by the time he was ready to sell, the new owners, what's his name? Bob Crane?
I think so.
So Crane,
Is it Bob Crane or Jim Crane?
It's Jim Crane. Bob Crane. No, I'll tell you, Bob Crane is funny. I listen to Coast to Coast AM. So they always have this advertiser called the C. Crane Company. The owner is Bob Crane, and they sell all of those, like the solar powered radios and the weather radios and the ones you can crank by hand for emergency situations. So I always think Bob Crane, but no, Bob Crane owns the C. Crane Company. Anyway, so Jim Crane told Drayton, "Hey man, I'm gonna buy this team from you, but you got to sell off all these outrageous contracts, and we're gonna rebuild." And so they were very crappy so they could start over and rebuild and get all the good draft picks. And they still had to make the right draft picks. They still had to make the right decisions. It wasn't just a matter of, okay, you got number one, and then number one again the next year. You still had to pick the right people.
Yeah.
It wasn't just tanking. And I don't see the Texans doing this. I don't see.
Well, you got to remember, this was their first draft with the new GM. They finally got rid of the old GM, and back to this question, I think they need to get rid of this coach too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to start somewhere. The talent you have is the talent you have. You can only draft what you can draft. They got cap room, so they can go out and get a free agent. They tried to get Nate Solder, the left tackle. That would have been a big boost. If you watch the team, when the quarterback has time to throw the ball, he does really well. When he doesn't, which he usually doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't do very well at all. And I mean, the O-line is terrible. So you build the O-line, get you some cornerbacks, and they can make this coaching staff look good. But I would rather have a coaching staff that can make them look good with the holes they have.
Do you want a retread, or do you want a totally new coach?
I'd like a totally new coach.
Which is what Bob is.
Well,
I tell you what, just nobody from the Belichick coaching tree.
Change.
Just
That's right.
get away from that.
That's right.
Because none of them really do that great.
Nope. I agree. Give me somebody fresh from college that hasn't been up, or a offensive coordinator or someone not from that tree.
No Shanahan boys. I guess there's only one, or is there two?
I don't know.
Kyle's over. He's in Washington, right? He's their head coach.
I have no idea.
I think he is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anybody out there. No Kevin. Don't give me no Kevin Sumlin or.
Well, no, he took a step back.
Yeah. What's old dude that left U of H and went to UT? No, don't give me that guy.
Oh, what is that?
Forget his name.
name?
Because he was with Oklahoma before that, right? When they won the championship.
I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, he was their OC.
Yeah, he's not doing too good there at UT right now.
Yeah, I don't think I want a college coach. And mind you, I'm a Cowboys fan saying all this, so I know there's a lot of work there too, but we're not talking about them.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't bring them up. No, as far as the coach goes, I'd like somebody that's not from the Belichick tree, someone new that hasn't been a head coach. Give someone else an opportunity, because they couldn't be any worse, right?
Right. Oh, you know what makes me mad? After the Broncos won the Super Bowl, and there's all these people on the social media talking about, see, we told you Gary Kubiak was a good coach. No.
Yeah.
Gary Kubiak was not a good coach.
Peyton Manning was a good quarterback.
Yeah. Well, not that season. It was their defense that season.
It was their defense. Okay. That's right.
So and that was Wade Phillips.
Was that
right?
the only one they won? I thought they won 2 in a row.
No, they went to 2. They went to one under Jim Fox when they lost to Seattle. Got destroyed by Seattle, and then they went back and they beat. Who'd they beat? With Kubiak. I don't even remember. Oh, they beat Carolina. Yeah, they beat Carolina.
That's when everybody was mad at the quarterback for Carolina for not grabbing that fumble.
I don't even remember that. I remember they were mad at him about a press conference too, about not being upset enough, or I don't even know. It was dumb. But yeah, Gary Kubiak. He lucked into that.
But imagine how much it sucks for Houston fans to watch their their head coach and their defensive coordinator go to another team.
Yeah, and Owen Daniels was there
with the quarterback that they didn't want when they were in Houston. Because remember, we wanted Peyton in Houston, and Kubiak didn't want it.
Even I said that. I was like, come on, you got to get Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Elway wanted him. They got him, and they all go to the Super Bowl together. It was a rough time here in Houston.
Yeah, well, I think we should put them to bed, right? Move on to the next question.
Yeah, it just hurts my feelings.
Yeah. And it's a Rockets question. All right. Okay. Do you see any way the Rockets make it to the Western Conference Finals this year? This is by Big Papa Smash. Big Papa Smash. I think that's Twan. I think that's his Xbox network, or is there a PlayStation network?
Oh, is his username?
I think that's one of his usernames. Yeah.
That's good.
I see that, Big Papa Smash. Do you got any opinion on this? If they can make it back?
I'm not a basketball
You're
guy.
not? Okay.
I think that adding Carmelo is just adding another, throwing more talent at the problem. See if you can, overtake Golden State and where'd LeBron go? LeBron went to the Lakers, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they'll play a role in the next couple of years. Are you saying he's more of a Band-Aid where you need a stitch?
For us, I think they're just throwing people at it to see what sticks.
So this is almost like Barkley coming in at the end of his career with Hakeem and Clyde. Look, if Carmelo accepts his role as a bench player and he'll actually play defense because James Harden's not going to play defense and Chris Paul's going to get hurt playing defense, then yeah, I think they can make it back. But another thing they really have to do, aside from all of that, in spite of all of that, is what they didn't do in the Western Conference Finals last year that would have got them to the finals, is when they get these turnovers or these defensive rebounds, instead of going in and shooting those 3-point shots and missing, take you a attempt at a higher probability shot. Okay, because when they got all those turnovers, yeah, I know that's their game. That's 3-pointers. That's what they do. But when you're not hitting them and you're getting all these turnovers and rebounds, just lay it up.
Yeah,
lay it up.
Yeah, 2 points is better than none.
Yeah, and that's what lost the game. We could have had 2 championships in this town last year.
Well, at what point do you give up on your game plan? As a coach, in the NFL, they have halftime. They go in, it's not working. They come back out. They try something different. Well, everybody except the Texans. But the same thing for the Rockets. I mean, that's what got them there is shooting the 3-pointers. Do you go away from that? Do you stop? Do you change to something else? Like I said, I'm not a basketball guy. I don't know the ins and outs of offenses, and
I don't think that's changing their game plan. I think that's another aspect of their strategy is that when you get those and, you got a fast break, you don't stop at the 3-point line, which I don't remember if they specifically did that, but that just seems like something they would have done is stop at the 3-point line and shoot a brick when, go score. Score.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would have been awesome to have 2 championships at the same time. That'd have been great, but I mean, Golden State's Golden State. Now, the Lakers with LeBron, it's going to be rough to get back.
I think they're a little ways away unless they can get some good free agents over there in LA. I don't know. NBA makes me mad. I hate watching the NBA now. They just don't play defense. And you look at a dude and it's a foul, and hey,
What was your team? Were you a Mavericks fan? Or?
No, I was a Rockets fan.
Okay.
I guess I'll still watch, and I'll watch the playoffs, and I'll try to watch a game when I can. But really, after like Shane Battier left, like he was like one of the last dudes down here who really played well. No, I take that back because what's home dude's name who went to the Clippers in the Chris Paul trade?
I don't know.
A little short dude, his hair the twists. Went to college with Dallas Kuechel. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. He was a great defender. But it was still past the point where I was just tired of watching James Harden not play defense, and the whole strategy of each play was just get the ball to James Harden and let him shoot it. Let him run out the clock and shoot with 2 seconds left.
Yeah. Well, I was glad to see they brought in Chris Paul because how many times here in Houston have we had one superstar and he's not LeBron, he can't do it all by himself. And watching Harden take all the blame for us not being successful, it was annoying to watch that because every other team or every other successful team has 2 or 3 stars, and unless you get those people, and we're at 2 now, and I think Carmelo is their attempt to try to get a 3rd one,
2.5,
but I think it's 3 years too late.
Yeah,
I know they tried to get him before, and they didn't get him, and I think that's when he would have been really effective. Now, we'll see what he still has left.
We'll see. All right, so we're just going to wrap this all up in one take this episode. So it was a kind of a short mailbag. So let's close it out with the story. We had a lot of sports questions, but I don't have a sports story today because it's Halloween. So let me tell you, a little something. Really boneheaded idea that I did one night. It was probably around Halloween, and I was watching like the History Channel or something like that. You know, they always do like true life ghost stories and stuff like that. So there was some ghost expert on there saying that, most of these ghosts, they're just lost souls trying to find their way to the light, and they just can't do it. They need help. So what did I do that night when I'm going to bed? Looked up at the sky or my ceiling, and I said, you know what? If there's any ghosts out there that just need a place to rest and stay, you can come in here and hang with me, and hopefully I can help you get to that light. So when I finally fall asleep, I start having this dream. Little kids are calling out my name, Michael, Michael. And I'm sleeping on my stomach, and I feel like a cat walking on my back. I'm like, what the heck is this stuff? What is going on here? Probably like one of the last nightmare like that I've ever had. And I woke up the next morning. I said, oh, you ghosts, get out of here. I don't want no ghosts. You're not welcome here. I told you not to mess with me. Just come in here and hang out and go about your business. And I went and found some holy water. And I threw holy water all over my room and anything you could think of. I think I went and found some salt and put some salt in my windowsill and ground up chalk and all that stuff. I was like, nah, I ain't ever doing this ever again. This was the dumbest thing I ever did. And that's why don't ever mess with the spirits. Don't ever try no Ouija boards. I don't care if you got a friend who thinks they're gothic or whatever and like to wear black and eyeliner. No, leave them alone. There's a reason we have all these scary stories and urban legends, okay? Don't mess with them.
You
Never
get what
again.
you asked for, man.
I sure did, and I will never ask for that again. All right. Well, so this concludes episode number 6. We're shooting it a little early because of some Halloween stuff I got to take care of. So you can catch us on YouTube and live on Facebook the first and third week of the month. I do a vlog the second and fourth week of the month. Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/Manticore Media LLC, and on Twitter @Manticore_media. My name's Michael Navarro. I was joined today with
Tim Tolley.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah!